goat pneumonitis, mycobacteria, N virus, Newcastle disease, sheeppox, Tescher's disease, and vesicular stomatitis. So I think the answer to, has the U.S. ever used biological weapons before, is a resounding yes. The United States has unleashed these types of warfare in the past in order to get whatever we want in wartime or maybe outside of wartime. So now, the problem with biological weapons is you can't control them, right? They're harder to control, and you're going to end up with collateral damage. But is the United States okay with collateral damage? Well, yeah, we've seen that the U.S. is okay with collateral damage. When we bomb nations, when we take out buses of kids and villages with children and women, and collateral damage is just part of the game. And if we're going to say, if we're going to go down this road, and if this virus was unleashed on China as a biological weapon, and then on Iran and on Italy, then perhaps those that decided to unleash it felt maybe a little morally better about it because they realized it doesn't affect kids. Healthy adults don't really get affected. It's just more of it definitely affects older people who are high-risk individuals, and it's definitely debilitating to an economy. Look what it's done to those nations. Now look what it's also starting to do in the United States. It's also created a lot of panic. But look at what our government was doing, right? Our government was sitting there saying this is no big deal. So did they maybe know? Did they understand what they were doing? And they thought, no, we got it controlled and contained. It's only in those countries that we didn't like, the countries we decided to unleash it on, and we're going to be fine over here. And maybe that's why our government's response was so flippant about the virus. But you know what? Then you have to take into consideration travel patterns and a whole host of other things. And so in order to maybe also not have the blame put on the United States, once Russian officials and Iranian officials were starting to say, hey, something's a bit suspect, and once the Israeli officials came out saying, yeah, we think this might be a biological weapon, then you gotta shield yourself from blame, and you gotta say, okay, now we're gonna start shutting down things like big events and NBA and all of these things. So I just wanted to put this out there because it is being talked about in the news, obviously not in our mainstream outlets, but what the Iranian officials are claiming of this being a biological weapon that's been unleashed on them, what the Russian officials are saying, this is being reported around the world. It's just not being reported as much here in the United States. So I wanted to bring your attention to it. It is interesting. It's interesting to think about, and it's possible. So, like I said, I don't mean to peddle conspiracy theories, but we do have to think of all angles and all possibilities in times like this because biological weaponry is very real. It is something that absolutely could be unleashed on populations. And what we're seeing is we are not prepared if another country were to do this to us. That is one thing we are seeing. And the damage that something like a biological weapon could cause. It's very scary. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. When you subscribe to the channel, it helps boost the algorithm so that more people watch the show. Thank you for watching.